Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. Today is Wednesday, December 6th, and as I've been doing this study about the Lord's timing and the perfect time, the fact that it's always perfect, one of the passages that's coming up over and over and over again is Lamentations 3. So I turned to Lamentations 3, and the first 20 verses are extremely bleak. It says that the person is under God's wrath. It goes on and on and on. It really establishes firmly what that dark place is like. So I'm going to trust that you'll go back and you'll read that on your own. But I wanted to pick up on verse 21 because this is where the person's mindset starts to change and they start to get focused on their faith in God, get focused on their walk with God, and recall God's promises. Recalling God's promises is an effective strategy for dealing with those dark times when you're waiting for the Lord to bring you through and back into that light. So in Lamentations 3:21, it says, "But this I call to mind, therefore I have hope." So he's remembering these promises. "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end." You are never out of God's love. You are never out of God's mercy. "They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." Why does he say new every morning? Because that supply is replenished. It is an unending supply. You can't tap it out. God's not going to say, "Oh, you've used up all my mercy. You're done." You've got an unending supply. Verse 24. "The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I will hope in him." He's where you put your faith and your trust. "The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him." What do you do while you wait? You don't just sit back. You're not just passive. You draw in. You start seeking for him and searching for him. "It is good that one should wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke of his youth. Let him sit alone in silence when it is laid on him. Let him put to his mouth in the dust that he may yet be hope. Let him give his cheek to the one who strikes, and let him be filled with insults." So he's saying, sit in that silence, endure that darkness, persevere through that darkness by drawing closer to the Lord. "For the Lord will not cast off forever. But though he cause grief, he will have compassion, according to the abundance of his steadfast love. For he does not afflict from his heart or grieve the children of men." He's saying here that you may be in a series, in that dark place, and it's full of grief, but God's compassion is still there. There's still an abundance of God's steadfast love. Now, we're going to continue on into verse 34 here. And we start to see that the warrior starts to come out and this person starts to fight back, to crush underfoot all the prisoners of the earth, to deny a man justice in the presence of the Most High, to subvert a man in his lawsuit. The Lord does not approve. Those are tactics of Satan. And now the writer here is calling out that satanic attack. "Who has spoken it, and it came to pass, unless the Lord has commanded it?" He's pointing out God's sovereignty right here. He is saying the only one that can speak it, and it immediately comes to pass, is the Lord. It's the Lord that's doing that. It's the Lord that has the ability. Satan does not have the authority. And this is where that battle comes in. And this person that wrote this poem has just drawn his sword and struck it straight into the enemy, because he's saying, you, Satan, don't have that authority. Only God does. Only God can speak it and it happens. And that's why it's so important that we have that time in that prayer closet, because that's where we draw the sword. That's where we claim God's promises. And that's where we let the Lord speak to us and we hear him the most clearly. So get into those prayer closets and enjoy that time. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.